Hey guys, Trent back here with another Wednesday waffle. Turn the camera on right now because it's a warm summer afternoon, fairly humid, and it's perfect temperatures and conditions for termites to create a new nest. So they're alates, what we call them, they're winged reproductives. Basically what happens somewhere around the centre of the nest, I'll use this tree as a good example. Center of the nest, so it's in this root crown. Termites will build up and create what we call flight cuts, and they look very similar to this actually in the side of a tree. And what happens is when the conditions outside are very similar to those inside the nest, termites will release all these winged reproductives out in search of it. So they'll come out literally in their thousands and start swarming around the place. Pretty hard to catch one while I'm on the camera. And so what they're trying to do is create a new nest, and they're really, really bad at it. Here's one here. So you can see this guy here. A few keys to help identify whether it's termites or just ants. Termite reproductives have 4 wings, ants do as well, but termite reproductives will have 4 wings of the same length, and it makes them really poor flyers, as in not very agile. They sort of just float around in the air, so to a trained eye you can even tell just by them flying past whether they're sort of controlling their flight or whether they're just floating and doing their own thing. Termites also only have 2 distinguishable body parts. They still have a head, abdomen, thorax like all insects, but really importantly they have this what we call abdomen. So if I zoom in nice and close on this guy here, you can see that back end just there. Looks like it's one piece, and again 4 wings all of the same length. Last telltale that I won't be able to catch on this camera unfortunately is that their antennae are beaded. So they literally just look like a pearl necklace, one bead after the other, whereas ants, they'll have an elbowed antenna, which will look similar to an arm, I suppose, on their head. So as I was saying, what they're doing is they're releasing those, trying to create a new nest. It's a really poor way to create a new nest. Obviously it's successful because they release a few thousand, but what will most likely happen is that 99% of those guys will just die of natural causes. They'll become lizard food, frog food, bird food, food for all the native wildlife. And then a couple of them will get lucky enough to create a new nest. You might find piles of them dead at your front door. Obviously they're insects, so they get attracted to light at night time. If you think of it as to why it's a really poor way to make a new nest, what they're trying to do is float around and just happen to find another termite of the same species but a different sex from a different nest. Not only do they have to do that, but they actually have to de-wing, mate, and find a mating site or a nesting site that has the perfect conditions, which means that it's got continuous water source, it's got food and shelter and protection enough for them to breed up the colony so that it's virile enough to start taking care of itself. In those early days, the king and the queen do all the egg tending, everything, so very, very difficult start to life for a termite colony. But problem is, once it does get started, obviously that king, that queen, or the queen especially, will start pumping out 1,000 eggs a day. 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, it'll be an incredibly destructive termite nest, and obviously it'll be able to do significant damages to your house. So what does a reproductive flight near your house mean? It's nothing really to be alarmed about unless you get significant numbers. If you've got an enormous numbers, big piles somewhere around your front door, or you've got huge numbers inside your house, it might be something to be concerned about. Pretty much all it means is that you do have a termite nest somewhere near your house. General regular termite inspection should be able to sort out any significant nests that are close to the structure and eliminate them before they get inside. So it's just a normal sorry, I'm just watching the birds start eating on these guys. It's just a normal standard maintenance thing. It's nothing to be incredibly worried about, but we do get lots of calls every time we get our first flight of the season. So Bit of a long one, but that's our Wednesday waffle this week.